welcome to Up to Date. I am Chelsea Texera, your host, and today we are so excited to have Allie Archer. Welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
So Allie is amazing. She's an entrepreneur and a travel blogger. She is my dream girl, has my dream job, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about her travels and just her life as far as traveling goes.
Yeah, I'm so excited, looking forward to it, and I love this cocktail. It's so good. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Cheers. And we'd like to send a shout out to King Street Vodka for supplying these delicious drinks. This particular cocktail is called Hello Kitty. It's made with Taiku liqueur, King Street Vodka, and you can add your own little lemon and tangerine accents. But thank you so much for supplying us with these, and they're amazing. So the recipe is going to be at the end of the episode. It's going to be linked on the website as well. And I'm so glad you enjoyed them. They're so refreshing.
Yeah, I'm totally stealing this recipe.
Good.
I'll give you credit.
Thank you. Okay, so I like to start off every episode with, what are your top 3 favorite places that you've ever traveled?
It's so hard to choose just 3, as I'm sure you know.
I know.
I'm sure you know, but I would have to say my top 3, probably more recent travels that I've done are Cartagena, Colombia, Mexico City, and Bali. It's just amazing, so.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, so why did you love Cartagena so much?
I just loved the Caribbean vibes. It was also my first time ever stepping foot on South America. When I was in my early 20s, I'm now mid, maybe late 20s now.
I think we're late 20s, everyone.
Sadly, let's just not talk about it.
We just get better with age. Okay?
Exactly. So in my early 20s, I made a goal to step foot on all 6 inhabited continents in my 20s, and I achieved that last fall in Morocco. So that was really exciting with Africa.
Morocco, cheers to you. What an
cheers.
accomplishment.
Thank you.
Once again, she's my dream girl, everyone.
Thanks. So continent number 5 for me was South America, and I was working in Costa Rica and Panama for the study abroad company, and instead of just going right home after that semester ended, I decided to go to Cartagena. So already that was just like this big like milestone for me, this big exciting achievement. I was like, oh, I'm making progress on this huge goal. And then just the actual like vibe, the energy of that city is just so much fun. There's amazing shopping if you are into fashion and all. It's just like everywhere you go it's just really fun shops and stuff like that. But the beaches are gorgeous and the food is amazing, and I met a few friends literally on the street. I was solo traveling at that point because it was after my work thing that I did. So it was really fun to just, meet new people and just have a really fun time. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And so what was the second place you had said was?
Mexico City.
Mexico City. So that's actually next on my list. What was your favorite thing about Mexico City?
Mexico City was just kind of one of those unexpected places that I hadn't really had on my list. Obviously, my travel list of where I want to go is extremely long. I'm sure you can relate.
And Mexico's in our backyard, so we're based here in San Diego, one of the most beautiful places in the world and a travel destination for the entire globe. So Mexico being right next to us is amazing, but we don't think to go there as much as like a travel destination. So Mexico City, it's kind of like a hidden gem.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, I still haven't been to the beaches in Mexico City or Mexico, the country. I've been to Tijuana, obviously, because we were so close. We're literally like
Rosarito?
Just Tijuana.
Okay.
I went on a
That's
date.
for another
I went
pod.
on a couple dates with this one guy. He was like, "Do you want to get Mexican food?" And I was like, "Sure." And he's like, "How do you feel about TJ?" And I was like, "Sounds great." And so that was a really fun, spontaneous side note right there. But yeah, Mexico City was fun because I was just like really dying to travel. I didn't have any trips planned. This was back in June of 2018.
Okay.
And I had a friend that had recently quit her job, and she was solo traveling throughout Central America. And she was like, "Oh, I want to come visit you in San Diego on the way home." And I was like, "Why don't we meet up somewhere first and then we go to San Diego?" So she's like, "Well, what about Mexico City? I hear it's kind of cool." It's like, I've never heard of it, so that makes it the perfect place. And just being there was just so cool. Amazing food. It's like LA trendy vibes in the restaurants, but it's like $5 like US. It's like really cheap, and there's just a ton of art scene there if you like that kind of stuff, and it was just so much fun.
I heard they have a lot of really great craft cocktail and like speakeasy kind of places as well.
Yeah.
Did you go into any of those, or?
I don't know if we went into any speakeasies. We went to like some different like salsa bars, which I know they're not like known for salsa. That was really fun.
Did you salsa?
I did. I attempted salsa. So what's actually really funny is that back in college, I used to be a Zumba instructor.
Really?
Just like for fun. I grew up dancing, doing like actual like jazz, ballet, like dance my entire life. So
I did too. I did hip hop and jazz and ballet.
I love it. Yeah. I know, I love performing. But Zumba was like a really fun like fitness thing. And so it was funny, we were at the bar and we like met these locals there, and they were like trying to get us to take shots of mezcal, and my friend loves mezcal. I'm not a huge fan. It's a little smoky.
I'm not about mezcal.
I know, it's huge in Mexico
We're
City.
smoky enough already. Okay.
There we go. Love it. But yeah, so it's funny because after like the dancing had ended, they just played music, and someone goes up there. You could tell that they taught Zumba. I was like, and there was like a few people, because
awesome.
as a fellow instructor,
yeah,
I don't do it anymore. But I was like, okay, I think I still got it. So there's like 4 people doing Zumba randomly. It's like way after hours at this point. And I just go up and I start joining the group.
Come on, shake your body, baby, move that body.
Exactly. I was like, oh, I can tell this person's doing. And I was like a little embarrassed because I'm like obviously super touristy American looking, but
no, you got a little flavor. Come on.
I was like, yeah, I mean, you have to teach Zumba.
That's right.
Yeah, that was like a fun memory of that night.
Fun, love that. Well, so once again, that's next on my list, so I'll have to get some tips from you later. But so Bali is actually one of my favorite places I've ever traveled to as well. I went there last January with just one girlfriend. It was so beautiful, so green, so lush, and so I wanted to see what was your favorite thing about Bali.
So I just loved, I mean, I went there back in 2017, and I just loved the energy of Bali. I loved all the people that, you know, there were locals, and there was obviously tons of tourists there, but I feel like everyone that was there just was kind of, I mean, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people you meet in Bali are like those digital nomad kind of vibes. Maybe they're bloggers, or they have, you know, businesses, and they're very like motivated. So I love meeting like-minded people like that. And for me at that point, that was the very first place I had traveled solo.
That was your first solo trip?
It wasn't my first solo trip, but it was the first place I traveled solo since I quit my old 8 to 5 office job and started working for myself online.
Yes.
So it was like I did a trip, a retreat, and that was like my kickoff, and then the rest of the trip throughout Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, New Zealand, and Australia. Well, that's a mouthful to say. That was all like solo. But that was like the beginning of me being like, I'm a digital nomad now. I'm doing this. We're going to see if this lasts. Luckily it did. But I feel like just that like milestone in my life was just so significant. And on top of that, Bali is just amazing. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And now that I've had more of like a spiritual awakening, as you could say, like I love when my voice just got deeper, I would love to like return and get more into that spiritual side too.
Well, we can go together because I was only there for a few short days, like 4 days with one of my girlfriends. It was so amazing. We went and did so many cool things. We did the Church and Pool, the water temple.
We did that too.
It was one of the most, I'm very spiritual, so that was one of my favorite things. And it actually started pouring rain. So it's a super busy touristy spot, as you know, and there's people everywhere. But it was honestly a sign from the universe. It started pouring rain and everyone got out of the water. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? You're in the water. You're already wet. But so everyone got out and we found this guide. And so me and my girlfriend Marissa, we got pictures, the most beautiful pictures in this. It's actually, so it comes down from the mountain. This is the water. That's why it's holy water. It comes down from, I forget what the mountain is in Bali. But so we got to do the whole thing and do all that and get these amazing pictures with just us in there. And I've seen so many pictures where that's one thing when I travel, like you want to get a picture with not that many people in it. I am not a huge Photoshop person, so I would rather just have nobody in the picture. I mean, I have some tricks. But yeah.
I always Photoshop people out of my pictures.
You might have to show me. I know some tricks now, but at first I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so daunting, right? Like you want to go really early is always what I try to do to get pictures. But yeah, so that was a really spiritual, awesome thing for me. I loved that. And then did you go to where all the fish are? So do you know what I'm talking about? The little, the lily pad, it's like the lily pads kind of thing. Tirta and Pool and Tirta Ganga is what it was called.
Was that in Ubud as well?
Yes.
Okay. I think I went there too. I don't know if I knew the name of it back then.
I'm like Rain Man with names. I remember all that kind of stuff. So, but we did that all in one day. We found this. So one of my girlfriends had gone beforehand. And so if anybody goes to Bali and they want somebody to drive them around instead of having to find transportation, I have this awesome guy. His name is, I have to look, but he was amazing. Anyway, drove us everywhere for a super low price all day long. And so we went to the Tirta Pool, which was the water fountain, and then we went to also the Tirta Ganga, and it was so amazing. So how long were you in Bali for?
I think I was there like 9 or 10 days.
Okay.
But yeah, we went to Tirta Pool as well. I forgot my swimsuit, and it was like weird because I didn't know if I could just like wear the sarong.
Yeah, right?
So I didn't. So I was wearing like a tank top.
Oh, you were?
It was so embarrassing. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's like allowed.
Girl, you should wrap that up like a gift. Okay?
I should. But at the same time, I was like, wait, we're in like this very holy area. Like I didn't know what to do. And so
guess what? The feminine form is the most holy thing that there is. Happy late Mother's Day, everyone. We are the givers and creators of life.
We are. Anyways, yeah, that's funny. Like you were talking about that. I was like, yeah, I have some pictures too. And I was like, wait, are any of those on my Instagram? I was like, no, because it looked like an absolute dork with my outfit. So
We'll see. We're gonna have some photo tips. You can learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, remember a swimsuit or just be better than I was.
They do give you things to cover up, but I think we did bring a swimsuit to put on underneath. I actually really don't remember. Did you go to the Sky Palace? What is that called?
Wait.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm usually good with the names.
Is it Ubud or is it Canggu?
It is
Seminyak.
Seminyak. No, so we drove a little bit of a ways. So did you? How about this? Did you ride on any of the bikes while you were there?
No, unfortunately not.
Don't say unfortunately. I am terrified. I am absolutely terrified of this bike. So my dad rides Harleys. I will always ride on the back of my dad's Harley. I love motorcycles, but my dad
I love moto taxis. I've done them now, but not back in Bali.
No. So my dad has scarred me for life. Before I moved to San Diego, he gave me 3 rules. I won't give you all of them, but one of them was do not get on the back of other men's motorcycles unless they're your man. But so we get to Bali and we go to the top of this. What was it called? I have to.
Mount Batur? I mean, that's like the volcano.
No, so they literally call it like, it's like the gates of heaven.
Oh, I didn't go there. The big temple, there's all those Instagram photos.
Yes, so I have this beautiful photo. It looks like you're on the top of the world. And so he took us up there, but that day it was a festival. It was like this crazy festival. They were sacrificing pigs and stuff. It was crazy. But it was really cool. It was beautiful. Because I'm so fair, all of these Balinese people were asking to take photos with me, which was kind of fun, but also kind of impromptu. But anyway, so he drove us to the top, and I thought we were going to be there, and he like summons these guys, like, and these 2 guys come up with little bikes to get on. I start bawling my eyes out. It was raining. It's so moist and wet in Bali, and you have to go up these crazy hills. I told myself I would never get on one of those. But so I had to, but it was embarrassing internally because I cried about it, but I still ended up getting on there, and it was fine. But yeah, I was terrified of that. So
I'm sure you're not the only one in Bali that's like freaked out or cried before something like that.
I have a friend who he rented one of those and he hurt his foot while he was there, and so but anyway, so it ended up being okay. I was just extra cautious because my father put the fear of God into me. Love you for that, but also damn you. But yeah, so it ended up being great. It was so beautiful. That was really fun. And then, so what was your best experience there, would you say?
In Bali?
Yeah.
I just think just kind of like what I mentioned, just the fact that I was like, yes, I'm here, I'm doing this is really fun.
But so like the swings or something, like I did the Bali swings, which are really fun. Did you do any of that?
I don't think they were there yet because I was in 2017. Or
really?
No, they might have been there. Are you talking about the one in Ubud that's like the big...
They have a couple, I think, but yeah, I went to the one that was called like Bali Swings, and you just go and they have a bunch of different levels. You can take pictures and they like do little videos for you, and you just kind of like swing over the jungle.
I've definitely seen that now. I don't know if that was there when I was there.
We're going back.
I know. There's so many reasons because I feel like it's changed so much, and I want to go back so badly. But I just think like any like sunset I've seen in Bali was just beautiful. I liked, the food. There's like so much like food from all over the world, but like I liked Indonesian food.
So what time of year did you go?
I went in February 2017.
I did too. It was like end of January, early February of last year. So kind of probably the same weather. Did it rain infrequently on you, or how was the weather?
It didn't rain like at all. Like it would get cloudy, and then we
you.
got super lucky because it was. I think that's the end of rain season. So that was really nice. But I was also like on a retreat, so a lot of our stuff that we were doing was like workshops, and then we had massages, which were amazing
And cheap.
It was like $12 US, including like in private in the villa, and I feel like you can get even cheaper in Bali too.
Yeah,
that was really fun. And then we almost went to the spiritual healer, but we didn't have time. So there's like so many things that's like it was packed with so much like awesome, amazing things that we did. But then again, there's like the swing, the spiritual healer, there's like all this stuff that I'm like, I have to go back and like experience this. So
yeah,
I can't wait to return.
Did you go see the monkey forest?
We did go to the monkey forest, yeah.
I'm terrified of monkeys, so I did not.
I did not have it jump on me either.
I'm so scared of monkeys. I'm honestly scared of birds. Like I don't want to be attacked by an animal. So, and I had a friend that went, and he had sunglasses like an idiot on the back of his head, and then he got bit and had to go get rabies shot. Yeah, so I think I've been scarred just from hearing other people's stories. I think if I went back and I had some brave people that wanted to go, maybe I would. But monkeys are sneaky.
They're really sneaky. We went to Uluwatu, where you can see the really pretty temple, and they're just, obviously they're warning you, don't have your sunglasses out. Of course, back then I had like my blue mirrored Ray-Bans.
Or anything.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm just getting like bare as hell right now with like all my like, these pictures will be cute. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we saw like a monkey take someone's phone, and then they ended up getting it back, and so typical stuff. So yeah, I was like, I don't trust these monkeys, so I don't need to have a picture with a monkey just to say I went to Bali.
Yeah, absolutely not. So did you fly straight into Bali, or did you go other places on that trip, or how was that for you? How was the flight?
The flight was fine. I've traveled a lot that was my second time in Asia. And before that, I've been to Europe a couple times. So the flight, it was long, but I had a layover in Taipei.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, I thought Bali, just like, I knew geographic, like I know maps pretty well. So I knew Indonesia and Bali, like where that was, especially traveling.
Right. Yeah.
Traveling's definitely helped that over the years. But I knew I was flying into Taiwan and then going to Bali, and I just assumed it was going to be like a 2 or 3 hour layover. Flight from Taipei to Bali. And it ended up being like 5.5 hours, and I like didn't eat lunch or something, and I was so hungry, and obviously my ass was flying economy. Like,
of course.
Especially back in 2017. So yeah, that was just an interesting flight, but it was fine. I met tons of people. It was just like interesting how when I got to Taiwan for my layover, it was like all people from all over the world were in the airport going to Bali, and everyone was doing some sort of retreat, and we're like, what retreat are you going on? It's like, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, the flight wasn't too crazy. After Bali, I went to Singapore on my way to Thailand. I went to the islands first, and then Bangkok. And then I went to Hong Kong for the weekend. And then while I was there, I decided...
For the weekend? Okay,
I did. Crazy girl. That was fun. And I took a spontaneous day trip to Macau because I realized... Why not? Like, it's right there.
When am I going to be here again? Who knows?
Yeah. And then I was flying with my points. I did, travel hacking. I don't know if you're familiar with, that, where you use, airline points and strategically. So I realized that I could get from Hong Kong to New Zealand for, 17,000 points, which isn't that much. So I flew to New Zealand after that, and then I went to Australia. And then, of course, my goal was, go to all the continents. So that was continent number 4 for me.
Wow.
And then I went home. Anyways, that was a big trip, so.
And wait, that was only 10 days?
No, it was 9 or 10 days in Bali.
Okay.
The whole trip was 5.5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so, how are you from San Diego?
No, I actually was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then I mainly grew up in Seattle, the suburbs of Seattle. So I moved to San Diego about 4 years ago.
Okay, what brought you here?
The sun, the weather, the beaches.
Naturally, right?
Especially after living in Seattle. I love Seattle. It's very pretty. It's beautiful. But just that weather, man. The overcast, rain. It's just too much. After college, I had studied abroad in Italy in college for 6 weeks. So it was the first time I had been overseas or anything. And that just gave me the travel bug. And then after college, I spent the summer working in D.C. and New York. Then I moved to Italy to work for a travel company for about 6 months. Traveled all over Europe, so that was a really fun experience. And then after that, I just had like this. I was like, I can't stay in Seattle, so
or one place for that matter.
I know. I just wanted to travel, and so I looked at California, and I just did not have enough money to move here. I was like, this is not going to happen right now. So I ended up moving to Arizona for a couple years, and then
good
I got
alternative,
a job,
really close,
very
right?
sunny. I just was like, I need to go somewhere sunny, and I was like, that's sunny and it's cheap, and so I lived there for 2 years, and then ended up coming here. That's like my story, my resume in a nutshell.
I love it. Okay, and so do you think you're going to end up here, or how do you feel? How do you feel about San Diego?
I love San Diego. I just love Southern California. I feel like once you live here, you're kind of ruined because it's so hard to want to live anywhere
There's no going
else.
back. You're not going to Seattle. See you at Christmas, right?
That's exactly what it is. Thanksgiving
Does your family
and
still live
Christmas.
up there?
My mom's still there.
Okay.
My dad lives in Arizona now, and
Okay.
every time I talk on
So
the
did he
phone,
follow you?
Kinda. We used to go to Arizona just for spring breaks and stuff growing up, so we were all like familiar with it, just because we wanted to see the sun for once in our lives.
Oh my gosh.
So my
Wow,
dad.
I can't imagine. Were you sad growing up?
No, I mean I was a happy kid. I feel like you just get used to it. Like you always get used to like growing up in Seattle. You have recess and you're outside.
Do you have brothers
it's
and
Monday.
sisters?
I have an older brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually went to college in Orange County.
Okay.
So when I would come visit him, he's like 3 years older than me. My family would go to Arizona and we'd drive over. I just fell in love with California. Yeah. So
Who wouldn't?
anyway, so since then I was like, I'm moving to California, and so
See, dreams do come true.
manifested.
Manifest whatever you want. So, okay, so you said that you took an internship or took a job in
DC and New
DC.
York.
So that's what got you into traveling, or
So what originally got me into traveling was my study abroad program in college.
Okay.
I studied in Italy for 6 weeks. I went to Ireland and England, and obviously English-speaking countries. I was like so naive. It's so funny to think about how bad of a traveler I was. Just I had to rely on other people. It was so sad.
But can we talk about the accents in Ireland and England, everyone? Because
Fantastic.
fantastic, but also a little hard to understand, and they can't understand American accents as good either.
Really? They don't know how we talk? I'm just kidding.
Seriously, I called a couple places, and they're like, "What?" So I mean,
Where's the T?
yeah, where's
But
the
like
T?
literally, where's the T spelled? Okay, that was a really bad joke.
Boom.
Cut that out. I'm just kidding.
No, but so yeah, I just recently went to the UK as well, and I loved it. And I was like, oh, cool, it's going to be English-speaking country. But so I went to London, Ireland, and Scotland, and let me tell you, talking to Irish or Scottish people, sometimes it was a joke. I love them, but like you're like, what did you just say to me?
I know.
But they're so cute and
Super cute.
and they have great alcohol, so we love them.
We love them so much. When I was in Australia, I was staying at this hostel, and I met people. I made like a little group of friends, and we're people from UK. There was me. There was a girl from Singapore. There was a girl from Australia. And we're all like walking around. I was like, oh yeah, like Krista said she's on Liverpool. She just texted me. And then British guys were like, Liverpool? They're like,
we have
you
the
mean
hard R's,
Liverpool?
yeah.
Whatever.
Liverpool.
Like, Liverpool. It's just how they said it was like sounded so normal. And I was like, Liverpool. Like, where is Liverpool?
We
I was
enunciate.
like, I sound so funny.
We enunciate. That's all I have to say.
Exactly.
Love everyone else's accents, but we're clear. We're clear as day.
Exactly.
That's what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you said that was a solo trip for you. What was your very first or your very favorite solo trip, and why did you go?
My first solo trip was Paris in 2014.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you think Paris, like the city of love, and I hadn't been to Paris, and I was like, I really want to go. So actually, it's funny because when I was working in Italy that first year out of college, this was like only my second time overseas. It was the study abroad program that I had that, working lifestyle that I had. And when I was working there, one of my friends, my friend Molly, was like, I just like, on a day that we're not working for this job, like one weekend I want to take a solo trip to Romania. I was like, why would you travel solo? It's just so funny. Like I really grew as a traveler in that experience because I had never even heard of the concept of solo traveling. I was like, why would you want
And
not
how
want to
old were
travel? I was 20. I just turned 22.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny. I just like I feel like solo travel is so common now, but I just never like thought of the idea of it. And so that kind of like introduced me like, oh yeah, I guess like there are benefits to traveling solo. You don't have to worry about anyone else. You do what you want to do. You meet so many new people. And so I just like, that kind of introduced me to the idea of solo travel. And so when I got back from Italy, I worked back in DC for a month just to save my money. And then I just had this major like travel bug again. I was like, okay, I gotta go back to travel. And I ended up getting a job working at a conference in Europe for a couple weeks. And it was like a month out. And I really wanted, like the flights could be flexible, like with your schedule, like you can do something on your own before you get there. So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to not have to pay for my flights to Europe. I want to go to Paris. But of course, it was like so last minute. All my friends in their entry-level jobs were like, yeah, we can't just take off. So I was like, I literally like, I have to do solo travel or not get this opportunity to travel. I was like, I'm going to take the opportunity to travel. So that's kind of like what prompted me, kind of pushed me into solo travel. And so that was actually really fun. I went to Paris for 4 days by myself. I didn't have a ton of money back then, so I was just kind of like eating baguettes and, you know.
The wine is really cheap though.
Yeah.
You go to their little Parisian grocery stores and you're like, dang, this is a $2 bottle of wine.
I know, it was fun.
Go sit by the Eiffel Tower, have yourself a little solo date.
Yeah, actually, I did do that at the Eiffel Tower. I like went by myself, sat down. I was like getting ready for it to light up, and then some like Turkish photographer comes over and he was like chatting with me or whatever. So I'm just like hanging out with this guy. And then there's a group of Americans from like Florida were studying abroad there, and they're like, come over, hang out with us. I was like, cool. So like I met so many people. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna do this cute little date night activity by myself, and then it ended up being like so much fun because I met all these people. So yeah, like that whole trip was just, it was a really big eye opener in the sense that I can be independent traveling and I can get around by myself and have fun and have a good time and meet tons of people. Like solo traveling doesn't have to be lonely. And you can actually like open yourself up to just a whole new world of opportunities and experiences.
Absolutely. So. I feel like when I solo travel, I am less alone than, because so I've traveled all types of ways. I've traveled with boyfriends, I've traveled with best friends, just me and one girlfriend or me and 4 girlfriends. And though I've loved every single experience, my first solo travel trip, I'm so proud of you. Yours was at 22. You were young and ready to roll. Love that. But mine, I kind of had some adversity in my life. I went through kind of a tough situation actually this last August. And my roommate, she was so amazing. She kind of came from the adversity as well. I moved away from one of my best friends who we'd lived together for 6 years. And it was necessary, you know, like as you grow, you experience growth. Like you can't just stay the same forever, and that's okay. Like everyone's going through different things. But so I moved into a new place with a new person who I didn't know. I went through a tough breakup, but also the saving grace was that I had ended up selling a house at the same time.
Wow.
And so it was kind of like God, the universe was like, all right, Chelsea, like this is happening for you. We're going to clean the slate. And what are you going to do to be great? Like what's going to happen for you? And so my roommate one day, she said, Chelsea, like, because I said, I really want to go somewhere. Because for me, traveling, it's like a clean slate. Every single day we wake up and we do the same thing, right? You know, like, and even quarantine has kind of shaken us from our routines, which has been super refreshing for me. I know there's tons of kind of downsides to it, of course, but the upside is that we all get to kind of think about what we really want to do and what drives us and what we love. And so for me, Sarah was like, you know, you need to go do this by yourself. So I tried all my girlfriends work 9 to 5s, or, oh, I can't get the PTO, or I can't get the time off. I am blessed with, you know, being a realtor. I have the schedule where I can do whatever I want. So I tried 3 of my girlfriends. I said, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. And they said, you know what, I can't. So at the end of the day, the flight I got was, so I love, one of my favorite pastimes is looking for cheap flights. I want to ask for some of your travel tips in a minute. Yeah. But so I found this amazing flight round trip to Rome, which I'd never been to Italy. I will definitely go back. But I found this amazing flight. It was $520 round trip with a bag and everything. And I said, I have to do this. So I booked it. I was a little scared. I had a friend who had just moved to Copenhagen for school, and I said, you know what, I'm going to pop over there too. It's somewhere I probably wouldn't have gone on my own accord unless he was there. And then Budapest was a place that I had been dying to go and heard tons of great things about.
I love Budapest.
It's one of my favorite places of all time. So I would actually live there. I loved it so much. But so yeah, I pulled the plug. That was my first solo trip, and it was a little nerve-wracking at first. I remember I called my dad, and he said, what the hell, Chelsea? I would never think to do that. I would never think to travel alone. And so you said, oh, it's more prevalent now. Really? No, I think it is, but I think it's something
Maybe
that
when
people,
you're like within the travel community and you're talking to people, like when you're so absorbed in it.
Right.
But yeah, I guess like outside of people that travel more often, it's like this foreign concept.
And everyone is so scared, and so, and I didn't feel scared at all. I felt uncertain of the unknown, but that's what life is. I don't want to know what every day is going to hold. I want to watch it unfold and kind of be the catalyst for that change. And I'm a Taurus, May 4th, may the 4th be with you. And they say that Tauruses don't like change, but we do love travel, and we love luxury, we love art, we love food. And so for me, travel is what I was meant to do. And so I traveled, once again, I traveled with 4 of my girlfriends. We went all over the world. We went to Amsterdam. We went to Oktoberfest. We went to Berlin, not my favorite. And then we went to Barcelona, Greece, and came back home. So that was amazing. And then I went with my girlfriend to Thailand and Bali. It was just us 2. And so to see all the different ways to travel, group, one-on-one, and then by myself, I love them all. But honestly, solo travel changed my life. It just made me feel like I am really the captain of my soul, and I get to create my life and where I want to go and my path. And even if you feel lost and you feel alone, really every step of the way, you're just finding yourself.
Exactly. And I think with solo travel too, kind of like what you said, it's like you're just following your intuition. You're just like, what do you want to do? And you don't have any outside influences.
Nothing.
You don't have other people that you're traveling with.
Someone doesn't want to eat this. Someone doesn't want to wake up at this time or go here. And yeah.
Yeah, and you just get to you get to know yourself on such a deeper level, just because you literally you're not home, you're not with anything familiar, you have no responsibilities, and it's like, what do I want to do today? And I think that's just something that's so super powerful.
So powerful and so much fun. I honestly I met so many people, and so you said that too. You said you met lots of people, because I feel like when you are with people, it kind of hinders your ability to be able to branch out and meet others. Because if you're with a friend, you want to focus on that friend or the experience with that person, or with a significant other or a group of friends. You're not really trying to meet outside people. Maybe if you go to the club or something like that. But I love to just walk out on my own. I was in Rome, and I was walking around, and I saw this girl. She was so cute, but I was like, who is taking her picture? Because I saw her posing. And I look, and this old guy, I was like, oh no, sister. So I go over and I said, do you want me to take that for you? We ended up taking pictures of each other in front of the Trevi Fountain at 8 in the morning. We hung out all day long till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She was from Egypt. So I made a friend from Egypt. She said, if you ever want to come.
My dream.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
So I can't wait to see the pyramids and all that. She said, if you ever want to come. She was doing a travel or a study abroad program in London, but she was actually away for the weekend. And so I love that also European countries, they are so much more in tune with travel. A lot of my friends, or even people I've dated, they haven't really been outside of the country. They've been to Mexico. And my goal is to broaden everyone's horizon, and just their inner knowing that you can do whatever you want, and you can do it by yourself if you want to. I was wandering around in one of the most beautiful ancient cities in the world, in history, and I met a friend, and I met somebody who was also by herself. And once again, people are afraid to do things alone. Anything. It's not even traveling. People don't like to do anything alone, watch movies alone, whatever. I am so empowered by the fact that I took this leap of faith and listened to my heart and did this, and I want everyone to feel that way. Women, men, anybody. You can change your life just by believing that you can. And so my flight to Rome, it was 12 hours. It was easy, quick, direct flight. One thing that's great about international flights, if you don't do the super, super economy, it's free alcohol, everyone. So, got there, I was feeling good, but the jet lag was kind of crazy. But so I went straight to my room, and I slept for probably 4 hours, but I woke up to 2 Australian girls talking, which that's a pleasant ass sound to wake up to, right?
I love Australian accents.
And they love the name Chelsea, I feel like. So I was like, my name's Chelsea, Chelsea. And then, so they're so stoked. But anyway, they asked me, so I had, like I said, I love to plan out all of my trips. Not necessarily we have to do this every moment of the day, but I like to know where I want to go. And they said, I was sleeping, I was so jet lagged, but they said, would you like to come to dinner with us? They took me to Trastevere.
I love that part.
Okay.
In Rome, the
Yes,
neighborhood.
that was my very first night.
I love Trastevere.
So Trastevere was beautiful, but I had wanted to go there, but they didn't tell me where we were going. And so they led me there, which was so amazing. They showed me how to use the subway system. So when I travel, if it's a country that's walkable, I like to walk as much as I can. But Rome is walkable, but it's huge. Don't walk. Use the subway. So the
tram. It's like a little tram.
The tram, but it's called metro. The metro is what it's called.
I feel like metro is differently used in different cities.
It's a metro. It's underground. Anyway, use the underground transportation. But yeah, so they showed me how to do that. So that was once again divine. They came. They took me to a beautiful place in Trastevere. It was awesome. And then after that, I went to, but I was staying at a hostel there. So once again, when I travel alone, I've read that it's safer to stay at hostels versus like a hotel. Trust me, I would rather, I can be bougie. Let's just be honest. I would rather stay at a hotel by myself with a fancy robe, all that. But when you're traveling solo and you're trying to save money on accommodation, if you're traveling with 4 friends, we'll split this 5 ways. When we went to Oktoberfest, there was 5 of us. We slept in one bed. It was 4 one way, the other by our heads. So,
oh my God, like a cat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you're only there to sleep, so.
Yeah.
But when you're alone, you kind of need to budget. So, and I'm all about saving a pretty penny. So I stayed in a hostel, but it was the Yellow Hostel in Rome. Shout out to you guys. I loved you so much. I did this awesome pasta making class. They have a beautiful bar where you can go get food in the morning or lunch or dinner. But it's the #1 bar in Rome. So I stayed there. I met so many people, and the rest of the time I had these Brazilian girls that were my roommates. First I was a little boisterous. But once, I became friends with them, we went out at night, and it was just so much fun. So I found that, once again, being alone afforded me meeting all these different people. Because if I was with my girlfriends, it would have been like, oh, hey, what's up? Goodbye. We're going to go do this. But I made so many friends from across the globe. And one of the girlfriends I met who is from Brazil, she lives in Barcelona. And she's like, anytime you want to come here. So when you travel by yourself, where do you stay?
I usually stay at like hostels, just like budget obviously is a big thing, but like even if it's not a concern, it's the fact that you get to meet people. So it's either that or honestly, if I can do a hotel collab with my blog, I try to do that because it's nice. It's a good way for me to like have fun creating content and also like do an exchange where I get to stay somewhere and kind of save some money on a nice hotel. But I
gotta get on that wave.
I know,
yeah. You gotta teach me about that. But
I'll give you some tips.
Good.
So it's either that, but even if I do like solo travel and I am staying in a hotel, honestly, it's a big mix. Then I still like go out and try to meet people. Like I'm very extroverted, and I naturally just talk to people, and I just try to like follow my intuition, and I just love meeting people. And I'm one of those people, like if we're next to each other on the airplane, I will probably start talking to you, but I get the hint, like if I can tell someone doesn't want to like
to chat. You have
to
to
chat. I feel it out. Like if someone, I can tell like they're tired, they're just not like they're like, some people just don't want to talk to people on the plane. Like I'm okay with that, but like other times, like, I know.
I love that you say that. Like one of my girlfriends. So I traveled with a couple of my girlfriends. We all had different seats, but I am notorious for making friends on planes. You say one thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, da 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 da. Oh, what are you reading? And then we talk the whole entire flight. And my friends are like, why do you guys do that? I'm like, because the world is so big, and there's so many interesting people. Why not start a conversation?
Yeah. Like for example, so at the end of August, my long-term boyfriend at the time broke up with me, and I was really sad, but like 5 days later, I was traveling to Barcelona.
5 days later?
Like
was
literally
it
5 days.
Planned?
It was already planned. I was traveling.
But still, yes.
It was like literally perfect timing to have a trip. Just, transition period in my life. Also, like I was like distraught and confused and sad. But I was like also like, okay, the universe is, doing something. It's not happening to me. It's happening for me.
Always.
So I was traveling there, and I was meeting my mom and my aunt. It was my mom's birthday. So we had planned this like way in advance. And when I was traveling, I connected in London. So I was flying. My last leg was London to Barcelona. I ended up meeting this like really nice guy. It was just like friendly, obviously, but like he was like really fancy. He's like good looking.
British?
If he's listening, British. Oh my God, this is gonna be so embarrassing if he watches this. But he was just like super nice. We just had a really good conversation. We talked literally the entire time. And it was just like nice. It's just like obviously like when you travel, you just meet new people and it's just fun. And you're on the plane. Like you can be on a plane, you can be on the street. I've met people on the street I've become friends with. And yeah, so that was like really fun. And then I get to the hotel and meet my mom, and she was like, "Tell me about what happened with your breakup." La la la. And so I'm like talking to her, and I was like, "So I met a really nice guy in the plane," and she's like, "What?" And my mom's like,
we're
really
moving
dramatic.
and grooving. We
She
are
was
not,
like dropping on the floor, like, "Who is it?" Like, I was like, no, it's not like that, just a friend. Like, but like, it was
like
just
my
funny.
mom should have been like, "Show me a picture."
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I was like, I don't
My
have.
mom
pictures.
doesn't have that accent, by the way, but.
So that was just really nice to just, meet new people. Just in general, when you're traveling, it's like just be open to the experience. And especially if you're going through a life transition, like a breakup, or you just moved, or you maybe you are in a career transition in your life. Like traveling is just a really good way to just have fun and experience new things and just find yourself.
It's a reset button.
Exactly.
It's a reset button, and let's start with what I want. Let's forget about what everyone else in my life has wanted.
Mm-hmm.
My job, my ex, my friends.
Yep.
This is about me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what travel is. And so I'm so glad that you said that. And so I love that you had a mini little travel romance. Did you guys even kiss?
No, it was
Allie!
No.
You got to test drive the car.
We were just friends. It was just like I've had so many conversations with guys and girls on planes.
It's nice to just have an emotional connection.
It was a friendly little conversation. We
A
just
fun, fleeting moment.
Yeah, it was just fun. I mean, it wasn't anything like romantic.
Have you had anything more significant happen in your travels?
I wish. A lot of my travels, I was like dating long distance, so I was kind of stressed about like Wi-Fi and making sure we could call each other and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, on my most recent international trip was literally with my mom and my aunt, so probably nothing gonna happen there. However, there was this one time where I'm not sure if this was like flirting or not, and I don't know if you've experienced this too, but when we went to Portugal, we took a tuk-tuk up to Sintra, and oh my god, I think he follows me on Instagram, so it's gonna be really embarrassing when we watch this. But
You know who you are.
You know who you are. So I got his WhatsApp number so we could have him pick us up and take us back down, because in Sintra, it's like where all those big castles are. It's really gorgeous. There's so many different castles you can go to, but it's a really hilly area. So usually you take a tuk-tuk because it's a lot easier to get around like the buses and the cars. Right. Anyways.
Tuk-tuks are wild.
Yeah, and it was fun. And this guy was cool. He was like young, playing really good music, and we were like vibing, just like talking, but like, whatever. And like he was like texting me later. He's like, "Oh yeah, you girls are really cute. You're really fun." Like there's obviously a lot of like typos because the language barrier. But then he changes his profile picture. And I don't know, I have a theory that changing your profile picture on WhatsApp is like a little bit of a flirty move. Because he changed it from like our normal picture to like this model type photo where he looked like he was Jesus coming out of the water or something. And I was like, damn.
Jesus, Moses. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously it's like I wasn't there. I was like
Did it
leaving.
work?
I mean.
Did the thirst trap get you trapped?
I mean, I was back in Lisbon, so like nothing could have happened. But I was also with my family, so I wasn't trying to like go out and do any of that kind of stuff.
Your mom would understand.
Honestly, my mom probably would.
She would
Shout
understand.
out to Christine. She'd be like, "Yes, honey."
Yes, see money. She knows.
She would be like, what's her name? Amy Poehler on Mean Girls, like with the video
Yeah, cool. Well, so see, now you know for next time, but.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, we were like, I was back in Lisbon, so like the distance, whatever. But yeah, I just have a theory. I don't know if you've ever experienced that with like WhatsApp or any dating apps that you've been on while you're traveling, if like changing the profile picture or if you have any other like crazy experiences, because I'd love to hear.
Yes. Well, so on my travels, I have only ever used Hinge. So I just went to Scotland and Ireland, and I actually used Hinge primarily in Scotland because that's where I was fully alone. Mm-hmm. But so I got on Hinge. I let it be known, hey, I'm American. I'm just visiting for a couple days. Here's a couple places I want to go. Like I mentioned, I love craft cocktails. So I literally put on my profile a few of the places I wanted to go. I said, who wants to take me?
Mm-hmm.
Winner, chicken bitter, let's go. Like, who wants to come? And so I met this awesome guy. It was great. But yes, like you said, WhatsApp is the thing. So I don't know if you have any foreign friends or like anything at all, but that's what they use, WhatsApp. And it's like a free messaging app. You can FaceTime on it. You can voice call, message. And the great and terrible thing, I guess, about WhatsApp is that you can see the last time they've been online
Yep.
and if they've read your message or not.
Yep.
So if you're dating online, but you're not reading my message, we're going to have some words, right? But
Exactly.
So yeah, so WhatsApp it's a wonderful and a terrible thing. But yeah, so I definitely have had the WhatsApp experience, like you said. I haven't had the changing the profile picture experience. But
He only changed it when he asked me if I was still in town and if I was available that night.
he was trying to peacock you. He was trying to spread his feathers to see
It was
if
like,
you
we're not connected to any other social media. We don't know each other's last names yet. And it was just kind of like one of those like, it was just like, I think this is the move.
Right. So, okay, but you said you've never used any dating apps when you've traveled at all?
Not when I've traveled because I was in a relationship when I was traveling more recently. And then before that, dating apps were like pretty new. Like people were doing like Tinder and stuff, but like Bumble or Hinge weren't really a thing yet. So I've yet to, but I have done, my friend and I, when we were in Mexico City, we did couch surfing just to like try to meet people. There's something in Mexico City called the Xochimilco canals. I may have said that wrong. But where you like, float down on these like canals and this water, it's like gorgeous, and you try to get a group of people. It's like, kind of like a party. So we tried to find like some people, and a lot of locals were on couch surfing, and they got kind of flirty. So that I feel like just like any method, people will any like online form.
So that's actually funny. I've read a ton of travel. So before I solo female traveled, because it's different for women. I feel like I know a lot of men who have traveled by themselves, but like my dad or whoever else was concerned for me because we're women, and they think we, or people think that maybe we're the weaker sex or we are easier to prey on, which is like true in the part where you're probably easier to prey on, but we ain't the weaker sex, okay? And so nobody's taking me alive, I'll just say that. But anyway, as far as using a dating app, it was cool because you could kind of like see the person. So if I have ever met up with anybody when I was traveling on a dating app, I'm getting their social media. I am screenshotting it to my mother, to my friends. They know about you. Okay, you're not taking me nowhere. So that's a dating tip for traveling. But so here in San Diego, do you use any dating apps?
I've only used them a couple of times. I've been on Bumble before. I actually have never downloaded Hinge, and I've never downloaded Tinder.
Okay.
But I've only gone on 2 dates with Bumble. One turned into like a 2-month thing, and then one turned into like a multiple date thing. I'm really personally like really particular, and I just,
as you should be. Selective.
Yeah, and I've met some really nice guys, like dates with like, setting up with friends or whatever, or just meeting them in other ways, just like having known each other from previous times or whatever. But like, I don't know, I'm really driven, and a guy has to be like, if he's not driven, that's fine, but he has to be able to support a driven woman.
You better buckle up in that passenger seat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not here to play small. I'm not here to, be with someone that's not interested in like growing as a person, growing as a couple. And so if I sense any of that in like a profile, then I'm not even going to take the time. And I know that sounds like really like snappy or whatever, but it's like when you know what you want,
you gotta snap.
But like when you know what you want, and I think that's something too. I know we both kind of talked about like manifestation and law of attraction and that sort of thing. And it's like you have to get really clear on what you want to manifest and what you want to attract.
Because if not, you're gonna attract a muddy mess of something you maybe want, something you don't want. No, but you decide. You are in the driver's seat for sure. Like, you want someone who has dreams because you want a dream team.
Yeah, and I think like growing together is like super important too. And you want to just like be able to support each other, and just being particular, I think that's fine. Like my last 2 guys I dated were really like spot on with what I was looking for at that time of my life, and that's like what attracted into my life, and I was like super grateful for that. So yeah, if I'm on an app, especially like for Bumble, there's like all these things now. There's all these features where you can put on like your music, and you can put your Instagram. Like I'm a blogger, and I'm like, sometimes it looks kind of cliche. I put pictures of myself that might look kind of vain, even though obviously if you know me, you know that like deep down.
I love the pictures of myself.
Thank you.
They're amazing. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sorry either.
That's what when I travel, I want the most fabulous pictures that inspire people to do that, to move, to see.
Exactly.
To be.
Yeah, and I think that's like for my social media too. It's like that's where you it's like I want to just like be myself and show things and like use it to inspire people. So it's like I take pictures of myself and I post them, and like,
they're
that's
fabulous.
on my app.
We have
and
no
like,
apologies.
Yeah, it's like if that is something that like weirds you out, or that's gonna make you insecure, then that's like let's not like
don't want to be a fool for you. Just another player in your
Game for two.
But no, so exactly, I feel you on that. And another thing for me is like I've actually dated a guy for a long time. He's great person, but he never wanted to travel. And for me, that was a hindrance because my heart has so much wanderlust in it. And not because I like want to meet men or anything like that. It's because I want to meet myself, and I would love to have a partner to do that with. So dating is, you know, like a big part of my life right now too. And so I have never downloaded Bumble. I actually really don't like the idea of me having to say something first. No, I don't.
Like the most boring. I always say, hey, whatever the name is, how are you? Smiley face. I'm like the most boring. I tried being creative once. Like my roommate helped me come up with like a funny, like clever, and like he didn't reply, and I was like, screw this. I'm not trying.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, be myself.
I'm not trying to have rejection. I'm trying to have some redirection to somebody who's going to be like, dang, girl. So Hinge is cool because it's like everyone's profiles look the same. It's 6 pictures, 3 prompts, and most of the time, dudes say something to you first. So I really love that. And so once again, I used it traveling. There's a ton of great options on there, but you just have to be selective, like you said. Being selective with everything in your life is important, but especially who you date. So to wrap it up, I like to ask everybody, what is one dating tip that you have?
In general, or like traveling, or?
We could do maybe a travel dating tip, but let's do in general. Let's do for real life, because like we love to travel, and like hopefully or maybe in some cosmic way we can meet someone that could be our person forever. But most likely, since we travel, but our home base is here in San Diego, let's do a travel dating tip, and then also a dating tip for life. Just a solid one dating tip too.
So I think my travel dating tip is just to be open, just be open-minded, and just like in the sense of just meeting people and not being attached to like finding a guy.
The outcome.
The outcome. Don't be attached to like, I'm going to find some guy to date or hook up with, or I'm going to find my international romance and then move somewhere. Just like be open to just meeting people.
Right.
And then if something happens, it happens, and it's meant to happen. Whether it's for a long-term romance or for like a, just an experience to help you grow. And then I think for just a regular dating tip is just, I personally think ghosting is the stupidest thing ever. I've only been ghosted once, and that's because I decided after I got ghosted once I was not available for ghosting. And actually, it's actually really funny. This was years ago.
I approve of that message.
Thank you. This is back in 2015 or 2016. And he ended up ghosting me after we had seen each other, and I was didn't hear from him for a while, and I was kind of pissed. And I was like, this doesn't add up.
If you're an adult man and you have a mouth, speak what is going on. Even anything. Hey, I'm really busy right now. If you can't say anything, you are a POS, and I know you know what that means.
Yes. But the thing is, it's obviously if you got ghosted, oh, okay, they're not into it. And that's fine. But I was just you can literally need to man up and just tell me why you're not into it, or just even say hey, just literally tell me to my face, or just on the phone or whatever. And so it's actually really hilarious. We didn't live in the same city. It was potentially would have been long distance. I ended up calling him and leaving him a voicemail.
Oh, good girl. That's right. We don't take no for an answer.
I was just, this is so crazy, but I was just I just left him a voicemail. He didn't answer. And then I was just basically told him, I was you just need to tell me straight up, we visited each other, and it was kind of crazy that I don't know what happened.
Because silence hurts. It's not nice.
Yeah, it's much easier just to hear oh no, I'm not interested, and then you move on. But I was just even though I knew that was the case, I was just pissed. You just need to literally just tell me.
Right.
So then within 30 minutes he called me back, and he's I'm so sorry, I was just really busy. I was oh, okay, whatever, just give me the excuse. But I was just cool, and then we can close.
Did he say to you? So what did he say?
Yeah, he apologized.
But did he say hey, I'm sorry, this isn't gonna work? Because that's fine. As long as everything's on the table,
was it wasn't gonna work.
As long as our things are on the table, we can deal with it. But if you're not gonna bring it to the table, you're gonna try to bury it under the rug. Guess what? This is some Edgar Allan Poe shit. It's gonna come back up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. So did he say he just said distance, or what did he say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was distance. We weren't living in the same city. It just literally just did not make sense. And we were both really busy with our careers and stuff like that. And it was just, it didn't make sense. But at the same time, it was just I knew that was the case, but it was just frustrating.
Be a man and say it.
Yeah, just
be a man, be a woman.
Tell me.
Make a stand. do it.
Yeah, like the last conversation we had was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna come see you. I'm so excited. Like, and then it was just like, it was like, oh, this isn't gonna work. It's not happening, and then you can tell. But yeah, so I decided from that, after that like happened, I was not available for that anymore, and that hasn't happened since, thank God. But
yes,
but
what
yeah,
what you allow is what will continue.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's
allow
my
it.
standards are just so much higher than that. So yeah.
I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. So yeah, so we're gonna have another episode about a little more in depth on ghosting and why it's wrong and what you can do to fix it in yourself if you're a ghoster, Casper. Anyway. So, thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you to King Street Vodka for our delicious cocktails today. I've had so much fun with you, and I can't wait to get some more travel tips, and see you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on Up to Date. We'll see you next time.